As you look into your crystal ball, do you see Cobjay having more adventures in the future, perhaps even expanding into more books or audiobooks?
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's newsman, Logan Crawford.
They now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're celebrating young ingenuity with a terrific author, one of my favorite guests, Anne-Marie Mugwe, and her hilarious children's book, Cobjay's Summer Holiday and How Not to Catch a Squirrel. The story introduces us to 7-year-old Cobjay, who comes up with innovative ideas like buying a baby on board badge just for himself to secure a seat on the London Underground train. Get ready for a funny, heartwarming adventure that encourages curiosity and celebrates the unique ideas that kids come up with. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us once again here today. We thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Anne-Marie, great to have you back on the show. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be with you again.
Nice to have you here. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration to write this book.
Well, as I made up stories for children and saw how much they enjoyed listening to them, I decided to eventually write a book that includes some of the stories so that I could share it with a much wider audience, so to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're glad you did. I think the audience and the readers out there are going to love it. He's such a relatable, entertaining, and enjoyable character. Tell us about Cobjay, who he is, and what qualities you feel he has that children will recognize or relate to.
Cobjay is a nice little boy who is very inventive and creative, especially for his age. And maybe most people like him would not want to drink grass juice.
Yeah.
But they may also endeavor to catch a squirrel in a kind and friendly way, but without any success. But yeah, I think many children would like to relate to him.
Absolutely. I'm on his side. I don't want to eat grass juice either, even if it's terrific for me, even if it's healthy, even if it's going to give me more energy and vitality. But if you can drink your grass juice, I'm sure it's good for you. Let's talk about the feedback that you're receiving about this book. What's the most heartwarming or surprising feedback that you've received from either children or parents or educators about the book so far?
Well, the feedback is that children really like and enjoy the story, whether they read it themselves or have someone to read it to them. And there was one boy who liked Cobjay so much, he ended up saying, and I know I've told you this before, he ended up saying, "Oh, I want to be the next Cobjay." And there was a young lady who read the book, and this is her feedback, her exact wording. Cobjay's Summer Holiday and How Not to Catch a Squirrel is a fun story that kids will love. It's a great mixture of adventure and laughs, along with vibrant illustrations that make it even more fun to read! And then I also found a 5-star review on the readersfavorite.com website. So I won't read all of it because it's quite long. I'll just read maybe 1/4 or 1/3 of it. And this is what it says. Cobjay's Summer Holiday and How Not to Catch a Squirrel is a heartfelt story filled with intriguing characters and a hilarious plot. From the first page to the last, the narrative captures readers' attention and takes them on a delightful adventure. It shows Cobjay's mischievous personality and imaginative mind. readers will find themselves laughing at his misunderstandings with the squirrels and his witty comebacks.
Yeah.
The whimsical and colorful illustrations complement the story perfectly. I really enjoyed reading this book and highly recommend it because it is both entertaining and encourages children to be imaginative and creative. Yeah, and there's more and more, but I won't read all of it, but it's all very positive.
Well, that's wonderful. That's high praise indeed, and it's very much deserved. You deserve every accolade possible for this book because it's a terrific book. So that must feel great. You must feel great to get feedback like that, right?
Yeah, well, both of those feedbacks include the word laugh,
Hmm.
because one says, yeah, it's a great mixture of adventure and laughs. And the last one I read, they also mentioned, yeah, will find themselves laughing at
Yeah.
his misunderstandings. So yeah, I didn't know that people would laugh when they
Yeah.
read the book. I thought they might like it and enjoy it. I didn't know they'd
Right.
be laughing.
Well, I think people will laugh. I think it's quite humorous, the situations and reactions and the settings. I think they're all great. And they'll not only teach good lessons, but they also make kids laugh. And if you're going to entertain somebody, if you're going to inform someone, you really need to entertain them. And the book is entertaining. So you've really hit the mark there, which is wonderful. Now, the book is available as an audiobook. Talk to us a little bit about how this makes Cobjay's story even more accessible and more engaging for children and families.
Well, the narration can help bring the context more to life. Um, and the story is available now to those who prefer an audiobook version for whatever reason. For example, maybe they're visually impaired or they want to listen to it while they carry out other chores.
Mhm.
And for other reasons as well. So it's nice to know that, yeah, now it is available as an audiobook as well for those who would prefer that version for whatever reason. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that must have been fun working on the audiobook version, collaborating with an actor to read it and so forth. Yeah,
Yeah, and I like the one who narrates it because yeah, her voice does change accordingly, according to who is actually talking.
exactly,
So,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
book narrators are great. They can do all sorts of voices for all different characters, and it really brings it to life. It really makes it relatable, really makes it entertaining, really makes it engaging. So
sure.
that's great. Now, as you look into your crystal ball, do you see Cobjay having more adventures in the future, perhaps even expanding into more books or audiobooks?
So, yes, I do see Cobjay having more adventures in the future. Um, Maybe another audiobook with a new story about Cobjay would be the next step. Whereas the current Cobjay book, everything in it, I just made up.
Mhm.
It's not something that actually happened in real life.
Yeah.
I made up. But in the next one, I would include something that did happen in real life. And this is a 9-year-old relative of mine who used to live in the English countryside. This was several years ago. Yeah,
Hmm.
plenty of years ago. So he came to London during the summer holiday, to enjoy, tourism in London.
Hmm.
So we'd do a lot of tourism in London. And one day we were walking down Whitehall. So Whitehall is actually a road
Hmm.
in Westminster in central London. And as we were walking down the road, I told him, oh, as we go further down the road, you're going to see Downing Street. And that is where the Prime Minister lives. And then he told me, and this is a 9-year-old, he told me, I want to go and speak to the Prime Minister because I am not happy. Well, I won't tell you what else he said, no spoiler, but he was not happy with something and he wanted to go and discuss it with the Prime Minister. And then I told him, you can't go and see the Prime Minister unless you have an appointment. He was not happy with that. And maybe he was thinking of how, because I told him as we go further down, you'll see Downing Street. Maybe he was thinking of how he's going to walk into Downing Street anyway,
Yeah.
although he doesn't have an appointment. But when we got to Downing Street, to the entrance of Downing Street, the gates were closed. There were lots of security staff in front of the gates. So I told him, you see, I told you, you can't just go in. You need to have an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
He was unhappy. After that, we went to the back of Downing Street. Then we walked down St. James's Park.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were walking down the park towards the west, I told him, when we get to the other end of this park, you will see Buckingham Palace, and that is where the Queen lives. And then he told me, and as I say, this actually did happen, the 9-year-old did this. He told me, because I couldn't see the Prime Minister, I want to go and see the Queen. I told him again, no, you can't go and see her unless you have an appointment. And then he told me what he was going to do, which quite surprised me. What he was going to do so that would force the Queen to agree to meet with him. But again, no spoiler. I won't let you know exactly what he said he was going to do, but I found it pretty interesting. Yeah, so that would be included in the next Cobjay book.
Wonderful. Well, I think those are great stories. It's a real story which really connects, and I think that's terrific. Have you ever seen the King or the Queen during all your time in the UK?
I don't think so.
I got to tell you a funny story then. I was in Edinburgh, and my wife and we saw a crowd forming in front of Parliament there. And we're like, let's stick around and see what happens. We stood there for like an hour because the crowd kept on getting thicker and thicker. Then we heard rumors that the King and the Queen were coming. And then a beautiful car, I guess a Rolls Royce, pulls up, and out comes Charles and Camilla, the King and the Queen. I was about 10 feet from them, which was pretty amazing. Yeah.
Only 10 feet.
Only 10 feet, exactly. I shouted out, "Long live the king," so it was good. It was good. So that was my brush with royalty during one of my first trips to the UK. So that was really, really great. So maybe you can embellish upon that maybe Cobjay or the character in your next book will run into the king in Edinburgh. You never know. That's the great thing about writing, right? You start with a real story, and then you add your imagination, you color it a little bit, and boom, you've got magic, right? Is that what you like about writing, about using your imagination and using some experience and blending it all together?
I think it's good, yeah, because you can come up with some very interesting narratives.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've done that with this book, no doubt. So book two sounds like it's coming. It sounds like it's percolating up here, right?
You'll have to wait. You'll have to be very patient.
Okay. We will be waiting with bated breath. We'll be very, very patient until the publication comes. In the meantime, folks, enjoy this book that's available right now. It's wonderful. Your kids will love it. You'll love reading it with your children. It'll provoke or promote great conversations. You'll have a great time with Cobjay's Summer Holiday and How Not to Catch a Squirrel. It is a delightful children's book that is heartwarming and funny and a celebration of young ingenuity and creative thinking. If you want a fun read aloud that will have your kids laughing about London tomb hacks and ambitious plans, grab this book today. Anne-Marie, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day.
So nice talking with you again. I appreciate your time, your insight, and your wisdom, and the wonderful talent that you've shared with the world on the pages of this book. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.